The question is, I feel so insignificant in my current role. I'm working in a big multinational company, and I'm in the beginning of my career, and I feel lost. I feel as if I'm not contributing anything. I don't feel good about it. I don't feel happy about it. I don't feel satisfied or I don't feel fulfilled. This is a very important question. When I speak to many of my past students, I have come across such a state of mind, a certain disillusionment. Yeah, a monthly salary is coming in, so that's good. And one requires that salary, but that's about it. Not much satisfaction or happiness or fulfillment. And they are also not sure how long they can continue with that. It's almost seems like at the beginning of your career itself, it's a tragedy. That's not a good thing. It should not happen that way. Life is beautiful. But though it is theory for most people, not in practice. Life is beautiful. Yeah, yeah, I got that. But come on, be practical. So I feel it's important to look at it, clarify it, because life is beautiful. So what happens? Let's now I will talk from my own experience in terms of moving with thousands of students, my own students. So a typical 4 year or 3 year graduation. So you go through your undergraduate program, you learn half-heartedly, or don't learn too much. Okay, but let's say you learn properly, you get a good job, you get placed in a good MNC, a big multinational company, and you go in with a lot of expectation. You have the expectation. You want to be recognized. You want to do a good job. You want to feel happy about earning that income. And you want to feel important. That you have contributed something to the company, to the clients. So these are all valid expectations. But what might happen? You go into the company. It actually provides a big platform, a large multinational company. You might be one in 10,000s or one in thousands. So it provides a large platform. But when the size grows, your job also becomes super specific. You are expected to do this and do it well. It fits into the larger picture, the bigger picture, and that's how the company delivers to its clients, to its customers. So you play a role, a definite role, but it's a small role. Small does not mean it's insignificant. But generally, what our expectation is when we go in, mostly it's in terms of, hey, I want to be significant. At least I want to see myself as being significant. So that perception becomes so very critical. But let's say you just write some code or do some work in a multinational, you don't get the feel. It's about the feel, right? The perception is the feel. You don't get the feel that you're doing anything significant. And that's where the catch is. It's not right or wrong, but it's important to feel good about what you're doing. It's important to feel fulfilled, satisfied. And there is no one yardstick by which everyone can fit into. Saying, there is no straitjacketed approach. each one's sense of fulfillment, that feeling of fulfillment. It's a feel. It cannot be certified from someone outside. It's an inner feel. If you feel right about it, that's it. If you don't feel right about it, you need to do something about it. So it's not a question of right or wrong. Working in large MNCs can be superb, very, very fulfilling experience for some. For some, it might not be a very fulfilling experience. So going with that feel, for those who do not feel fulfilled about such a profile, such a role, from practical observation, what I have observed is this: initially, right after you graduate, earlier we used to have this concept of apprenticeship. Now, even now, for example, CA, those who do CA and so on, are supposed to apprentice in a firm or under somebody, and then over a period of time graduate. I'm not talking of apprenticeship. In a small environment, when you go into a, let's say for example, a startup right after your undergraduation, let's say your family does not expect too much, finances from you, giving back, not yet. Over a period of time, you need to. But let's say your family is financially comfortable. Then you are looking at the feel good comes from the feeling that you are important. You are not dispensable. You are important. And what you are doing actually contributes for you to be able to visibly see it. That becomes very critical. For you to be able to see that, oh, I am significant. It's not that I'm in this vast ocean where whether I'm there or not, it does not matter. That might not build up your feel of being important that very well. It might damage it. In the Indian tradition, when we grow up children are given a lot of attention, appreciation, love and care, so that their ahamkara develops into a fully balanced, a well-formed ahamkara. Like that, when we initially join a company, we might want to build up our profile, our personality, our career depends on such a proper building up of our profile. So there, it becomes useful to recognize that a small platform in terms of a startup ecosystem or an entrepreneurial venture, where you go in, you will see that you start learning about, you might be a techie, but you might start learning about finances, business administration, economics, how it impacts the market, how it responds, the customer psychology, how they deal with it. There will be ups and downs. In a big environment, you are shielded away from all this. But in a small environment, you get exposed to all of this. But in this process, what happens is your feeling of being significant becomes really important. You feel, yes, I'm doing something worthwhile. That feel that you are doing something worthwhile, that there is meaning to your actions, what you are doing, getting that feel is so very critical. And getting that in a big environment at the beginning of your career might be challenging. Not that I'm not saying it cannot happen, but for some it might not happen. That's where a small environment, a startup environment or an entrepreneurial environment can provide you with this multi-dimensional role set, which is also challenging. But that challenge is what you want at that point in time to grow. Then you will see that your actions are, you will see visible impact of your actions. Especially, say, for example, you get into an NGO, a non-governmental organization or a social organization. You will see your actions have social impact. And that is superb. For the first time, you will start observing that, oh, how you speak, what you do actually impacts society. And that gives a great feel. And you will start feeling responsible. And responsibility is the basis for a well-developed personality, a well-balanced, mature personality, which actually boosts your career later on. So after this initial exposure of an entrepreneurial environment or an NGO or a social organization, a small one, you get well groomed, multidimensionally groomed. And then you go into a bigger environment if you want to. Then you will see you will shine. And it will be exceptionally fulfilling because you will be able to feel and sense how your actions impact. So getting that feel that each of your actions matter, that you matter, is so very important. So life is beautiful.